Greetings, loves. Welcome to another edition of Soul Search. And this is Akasha. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, share this video out. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And make sure you click on that notification bell. Guys, I have done commentary on Willow. Okay. Grace and Quetzal. See, one of my things is I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put it out until I can say their names without calling them by. I've always known him by Rambo before Quetzal, right? And I've known Grace by Willow, Serenity, something else I can't remember at this moment because I'm trying to get rid of those names because they don't go by those names anymore. See, guys, what you do when you constantly change your name. But as far as I know, they've been Quetzal and Grace for a while. These were two of the, I want to say, originals in Carbonation. They were with them when they were the Ethereans. And they were with them when they were the Melanation. I don't think they were quite Carbonation yet by the time that these two left, but I don't know. However, they were with them very, very early on, and they have a story. I've talked about it. They're on my channel. I've done commentary on them over the years, and very interesting because, I requested to do an interview with her and him. I shocked myself doing that because, y'all see I don't really do interviews. But not only that, I had some harsh criticism for these two when they came on Nick at Night. Something told me, when the last time you listened to them? I said, I haven't really listened to them since they left. Say, okay. Because, I'm a very open-minded person. I think outside of the box. I'm not closed-minded at all. And although at the time I was not feeling where it sounded like they were coming from, there was still something about what they were saying that I felt like it required for me to take on a deeper understanding by listening to them more, to see more of where they were coming from with it, because it may not be as simple as what I perceive. Now, these two are some intellectual individuals, in my opinion. I've always seen them that way. Deep thinkers. So I'm like, since they left, I have not listened to them. I've only, I don't want to say trolled them, but, basically, as soon as they open their mouth, I'm like, look at you. Yeah. Pretty much some of the same stuff I see a lot of people saying now. But it was shortly after that interview, I went over to their YouTube page. Then I found them on IG, and I've been following them ever since. I saw them do a video when Nature Boy wanted to change his lawyer. And I agree with so much that was said in that video. And then I began to understand, not saying I 100% agree. I think that's impossible because I'm not them. I don't have their mind, and I didn't have their experience, and I'm not having their experiences now. So it's impossible for me to understand completely where they're coming from, which is part of the reason why I want to do an interview. I don't really want to talk about carbonation. As far as, what happened here and all that and this kind of stuff, child, please. But I want to dig more into their perspective as far as where they're coming from, because they are very vocal about the situation. I'm kind of surprised about it, but I feel like maybe they, feel like it's their position to do so. And they had a very profound experience with this guy. So, yeah, I can see that. It doesn't matter that they weren't there towards the end. Trust me, they had their ride with him. They had their ride with him. I agree with a lot of what I've been hearing them say concerning this situation. And it's a very unpopular perspective to have. Now, Instagram used to let you press pause, but you can only press mute. So I'm going to let this rock out, and then I'm going to rewind it. It's very short. So I want to share this post from Quetzal. It's a very interesting perspective, and there are quite a few people in his comment section that were in Carbonation. Some of you guys may recognize them, and they're all giving their take on what he has to say. One video they did, I did commentary on the video they did about when Nature Boy tried to change his lawyer, and then the video they did after the verdict. I'm not exactly sure why, but I didn't put those two videos up, or they may be behind the paywall. I'm not sure. But that video they did after the verdict, I'm talking about all the way down to the people who called in. Y'all, that video is strong. I'm talking about that video is strong. It's on their YouTube page. It's Zen Life TV, I think. I think it's on Grace's Instagram as well, because I believe they were on Instagram when they did it. That video is deep. That video is deep. I mean, it was just, I'm just going to stick with the word deep. It was deep. I mean, I'm talking about it was deep. I think it will help everybody to watch it. If you've been following this situation for however long, if you're a former member, I think you can get a lot from that video. I'm telling you. And it's not just them two. Like I said, they had people calling in, and then one of the former members, Tori, called in as well. But yeah, these two have a slightly different perspective than most. Honestly, I'm always going to have the Mama Dia gripe with everybody. But I do understand that what's been said is all that's going to be said. So it's not for me to, pursue that with anyone. But that gripe is always going to be there. It's just tucked away, Outside of that, I would really like to speak with these two more. And if it don't happen, I'll keep, catching them on social media. But I think that more people should hear their perspective. I do. And again, I don't 100% agree with what they're saying, but I agree with a lot of what they be saying. And I also, the parts that, I don't agree or disagree, I can kind of understand where it might be coming from. And that is from an experience that I'm not necessarily privy to. Okay. Although I have had my own cult experience, okay, being born into such. And that is another, level of conversation on that subject that I did start talking about. I just haven't posted anything yet. Wow, but Rambo, he hit hard. Ah, damn. See, this, I knew it. I thought I was ready, boy. I thought I was ready. But I'm working on it. Look, I met this guy as Rambo. Okay, years ago. I'm seeing some grays. Don't worry, I got them too. I'm talking about years ago. Okay, when he was young with Nature Boy. When they got pulled off the bus and beat down and thrown in jail was it Nicaragua? Costa Rica. And they couldn't get on a flight and all that. He was with them. When Nature Boy was in the van on the side of the road with no money. They had no gas and all that. Talking about I had $300,000. All that, you know? Yeah. So, wow. I don't know if y'all ready. I don't know if y'all ready, but I'm gonna let them rock out. Okay? I'm gonna let them rock out.
You have blocked us and have chosen to not engage with us directly.
See, I want to get it from the beginning, but this Instagram be on some funny style stuff. Let me go to his page and see if I can start it over that way. And his page is Wild Quetzal. Okay. Here's the video. Oh, it's on me.
Ex-members of Carbonation. I hope this message reaches you and you can consider it. Some of you have blocked us and have chosen to not engage with us directly, which is why I'm making this video publicly in hopes that it may reach some of you. A different perspective should not be a threat, especially if you're solid about your own. If you feel resonance, you may consider exploring it further. If not, simply disregard it. You may find yourself in a confusing space. Perhaps you feel supported, or maybe you prefer not to think about it at all. Only you know what truly happened in your experience with Nature Boy and Carbonation, and only you get to decide what it means for you and your life. There will be many voices that will come to tell you what to think, how to feel, and what to make of the situation, but they weren't there. You were. Many people will support you under the condition that you will oppose Nature Boy and everything that Carbonation represented. Just remember, when they compliment you on your talents, your articulation, your courage, that they only do so under the premise that it supports their own ideologies and beliefs, or at the very least that it doesn't echo anything that Nature Boy ever taught.
Now, I'm going to pause it right there because I know that was a lot to take in. And had I not took the time that I have taken and do take, because I do, when they post, you know, I don't be on social media looking at other people's stuff like that. But when I catch something, I do listen to it so I can better understand where they're coming from when they talk like this. And I can, and this is the part where I say, he can speak from his own experience because they had the same situation. And when they would talk and it seemed like it was sounding like they were still, okay, how people say under Nature Boy's spell, that's the kind of feedback that they have gotten. And they got that same feedback from me. But I'm going to tell y'all, listening to them, I wouldn't call it that now. I'm not going to say what I would call it because I'm not sure if I can properly articulate that as of yet, except for, from my perspective, it's more so that there was a similar message, right, that drew all the people pretty much to Nature Boy initially, that resonated with you. So of course you're gonna hear a lot of similarities. However, it doesn't change the fact that those similarities that drew them to him and that experience they were trying to have in the first place is not still a part of who they are. So of course, you're going to have them along a certain wavelength, right? Okay. So outside of anything that is, deemed negative as far as, hurting someone else, everything else is pretty much still the same. I mean, the knowledge, quote unquote, that's how he lured people in the beginning, supposed to be seeking this type of journey in life. So you're not going to hear these two people who actually, when they left, went about continuing their journey and did not go back to what we call civilization. They didn't go back to their families. They went out to Hawaii and they lived their life as natural as, they could create for themselves as they had originally intended. Okay, they kept on their journey. They kept on their journey. So I think there's a huge difference, here. When you hear him talk, is not to assume, oh yeah, he still follow Nature Boy, he's still attached to Nature Boy and all that kind of stuff. I think listening to these guys in more than just a few paragraphs, a few sentences, or even one post can really give you some deep insight into their perspective on things. And it's not that you need to agree, but there are more than one viewpoint to the situation, to any situation. And it seems like everybody jumping all over, everybody who left and bigging them up as if we didn't sit back and watch these people for all these years. How are they different than Nature Boy? If you condemning him, why are you praising them? Why? Because they're denouncing him? A lot of them wasn't denouncing him when he first went to jail. A lot of them wasn't denouncing him a year after he went to jail. And then when you listen to why they say they left, because they were mad. I left because he disrespected me on the phone. I'm trying to help him get out of jail. I left because he disrespected me and I got tired of this and tired of that. And I didn't have him there in my ear every day. So I was like, I left because my man left. I left because, I didn't get my way. It wasn't that they said, today is the day that I decide I no longer should be doing this. It was, I'm pissed and, all this air and opportunity right here because he in jail. So I'm leaving. But before that, they was proclaiming his innocence. And the more y'all hear about the actual abuse that they partook in, y'all still, you giving them a clean slate, but you don't give it to him? That's weird. That's weird. I don't see no difference between these people and Nature Boy. Especially after finding more and more out about how deeply they were involved in each other's abuse. The same goes as the speech for Nature Boy. People were unalive. Babies were unalive. They all had hands in all of it. The same way he was beating down women, they was beating down women. It's crazy. So let me go back. I'm not going to interrupt him anymore.
So while the support is present while you speak out and oppose Nature Boy, see if that continues once you stop discussing it or change your stance. The moment that you for a second begin to insinuate that there was even one iota of positivity to Nature Boy, you will see their script change. They do not wish a balanced judgment. They desire complete and blind annihilation. But that's them. When it comes to those who were actually there and a part of it, you have to ask yourself some things. Why did I go to carbonation? Was I truly manipulated and coerced? Or was there a part of me that felt a deep resonance with something? Why did I leave carbonation? Was it because I didn't agree with anything that was ever taught or discussed? Or was it because my feelings were hurt? What do I want for my life? To return to the way of life that made me feel incomplete, purposeless, and had me go to carbonation in the first place? Or to continue what beliefs I still feel alignment to and drop that which I do not? Who was Nature Boy? What did he represent? And what was he here to teach me? Maybe you say nothing. He was just a predator and manipulator. If so, what allowed him to manipulate you? What characteristics did you lack and perhaps still lack that allowed that to play out? What desires of your own did you have that blinded you from seeing the misalignment and acting on it? You can drop all the beliefs and pretend like it never happened, but what if that is who you are? What if you do desire spiritual understanding? What if you do want to live more naturally? What if you do believe in astrology, etc.? One thing I noticed about myself and everyone that went to carbonation is that we all went for our own selfish reasons. Some were escaping responsibility. Others wanted to get back to nature. There were those who wanted the status and notoriety, those who sought physical healing, and some were just intrigued by it and wanted to quench their curiosity. This is so important to sort out because you have to decide how you want to move forward. Do you want to move forward as a victim of a situation you chose to be a part of and live in the shadow of carbonation? Or do you want to use the experience to unlock the parts of you that were summoned by the intensity of the situation? The irony is that Nature Boy and carbonation still continues to fuel all those who oppose it strongly. Even some of the channels like the T and King World rely on it for a source of energy. You've seen them try to share their own lives and perspectives and then quit when they didn't get the same level of engagement or views as the carbonation content. Is that what you want for yourself? To only get attention when you discuss that situation? If you don't, you'll have to craft something for your life that holds a similar gravitational force, and that is going to require immense dedication, discipline, and commitment. I believe there's no difference whether you give your attention to something because you love it or because you oppose it. As long as you remain focused on it, you feed into it and keep it alive and help to grow it.
That's a fact.
I'll give you an example. Traditional hunters keep animals alive because they rely on them as a food source. So people may say that if you love animals, don't kill them. But paradoxically, when you rely on something to fuel you and give you life, you have a vested interest in keeping the species alive because otherwise, without it, you die and wither away. Same with this. Anyone who relies on Nature Boy, whether from a love or opposition standpoint, has a vested interest in keeping the gossip, the investigation, the group, and ultimately him alive, whether they know it or not. When Grace and I left, we chose to take ownership of the situation we were a part of. And that didn't mean saying, sorry for the actions that we took and the things we said when we were brainwashed. That's not accountability. Instead, we analyzed what attracted us to the situation in the first place and made peace with the fact that who we were at carbonation is who we've always been. But in the context of pressurized situations, you get to reveal yourself fully. And I think a lot of us didn't like what we saw. So of course, we blame the catalyst, Nature Boy. Truth is, people were already abusive, cowards, promiscuous, combative, arrogant, irresponsible, etc. long before they ever heard of a Nature Boy. He just brought that out even more and put it on camera. Likewise, people were already articulate, smart, creative, funny, confident, and dedicated, etc. before they stumbled on Nature Boy. He also brought that out of people as well and displayed it to the world. If you want to learn more about why energies like Nature Boys exist from a spiritual perspective, coming from a source completely detached from this particular situation, check out the writings of Carlos Castaneda on petty tyrants that are linked below in the description. There are two main categories of perspectives that you can take. One is the clinical perspective, to attribute a pathology and diagnosis to a person and rationalize the surface of the situation. He was a narcissist, an authoritative leader who manipulated innocent adults who were victimized by his delusional ideologies. Another perspective is the spiritual perspective, which is to ask the questions I proposed earlier and to seek deeper understanding through the highest perspective possible, beyond what the popular culture of the world would care to ask. Just like our ancestors would see an eagle and it would be a totem to them, it's part of our nature to give deeper meaning to the seemingly mundane as a reflection of our own internal journeys. Modern science would deduce all understanding to a particular systemized observation, which isn't wrong, but it's not the only perspective or the most helpful. So, I hope you consider some of the things that I shared today, and remember, regardless of your stance or perspective on a situation, carbonation was a rare experience that I believe most will only be able to appreciate many years from now. Don't squander it listening to the voices and perspectives that aren't empowering you to live your ideal life. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here for any of you. And I'll leave you with a quote from Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Stay balanced.
He said a lot here. He said a lot here. He said a lot here. And I am most thankful that I have listened to him and Grace speak on this situation, because they're taking a take that, for the most part has been my take on it. And it seems like, the popular opinion here is, oh, these are victims and they were manipulated and all this and all that. And, I did another video where I kind of, went in deeper on that. I mean, he said a lot here. And I know this is not something that the people who were there want to hear. Listen, guys, if you weren't a part of this situation, this message ain't even for you. Okay? I know you guys have opinions and everything, but at the end of the day, the message is not for you. The message is for the people who were a part of that situation. That's who he is addressing. That's who he's reaching out to. Okay? So while you may have your thoughts and opinions, I mean, okay, that's cool. But I know this is not what most of those people want to hear. We can tell by the way they have been behaving and speaking since the situation. Honestly. Because at the end of the day, I see these people banging on Nature Boy. I see these people banging on the ex-members. Whether they think they trying to help them, save them, or whatever they doing. It's somebody else to point the finger at instead of themselves, because truth be told, These people have a lot to account for. Okay? They have a lot to account for. And I said in a video before, what Sheba and Aaron are doing may seem like it's noble to a lot of you, but one thing is for sure and two things are for certain. They know better than anybody that Aya, Malia, Zoka, and Ephru is not gonna listen to nobody but Nature Boy. Not even themselves. They're not going to listen to nobody but Nature Boy. They know better than anybody else how they were taught to not even pay. They probably ain't even hearing nothing that they saying because why would they go listen to that? And even if they heard them, there's nothing that they could possibly say that's going to get through to them women. And they know that. They were there. They were right there in their situation. They're not going to plead them down and out of that. Them girls over there shaving their heads. Shaving their heads. How many wise decisions have they made since Nature Boy got locked up? There have been some very unwise decisions. All the posting and stuff, while the trial was going on, the stuff they were posting. You're not supposed to do that if you're on, somebody on the defense. That's not gonna help the defense team. That's gonna hurt the defense team. Yet they kept doing it. They kept doing it. They were trying to have public court. Even reposted the same video that he was accused of posting in one of his charges. I mean, to say we are not a CULT and then go and shave all your heads looking like the Manson girls, reaching out to them, so to speak, is a waste of breath, air, and time. How can you be putting that much energy into that when you got a whole lot of you that you got to be doing right now? Y'all just spent 5+ years with this dude, commencing evil, sun up to sundown, allowing yourselves to be treated like you're lesser than a human. Every day, all day, and doing the same to others. How can you be sitting up here on this internet acting like you trying to save somebody else? It's even weird for me to see y'all sit up there and be so up in the chat and the comments like y'all in church, when these were the same people that with the same voices and the same faces that they have now was telling you where to get off for years. While you was telling them they wrong for this. They shouldn't be there. This ain't right. That ain't right. The way they treating your baby ain't right. The way you allowing yourself to be done ain't right. They wouldn't hear it. They wouldn't hear it. I saw in my timeline, True posted something. Seemed like he been posting pretty much every day. And then when I went to go look at it, it looked like his page was gone. I don't know what that's about. But I'm also noticing another thing which kind of was surprised. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of surprising to me. The tea still going strong over there. I was like, wow, okay, so he convicted. It's time to put that dude back down to rest. But then I see these ex-members being posted and promoted. so much. Especially when it comes to Janae and Solar. Of all people, Solar is the one, in my opinion, the one that's has the most clear and present danger. Like clearly. And he's being promoted by the same channels that's been doing commentary over a period of time. And it's like, y'all really done got comfortable in the fact that this is your content. This is your entertainment. You don't care. Just keep it going. All they got to do, like Rambo said, is denounce Nature Boy. And you follow them wherever they go. You'll support whatever they do. And in 2 to 3 years, when you got both of this boy's baby mamas saying that he is Eligio, and all the things that you already know about this dude, and all the lies he has told since he's been out in your face, as if you are dumb. So now y'all, in my opinion, have turned into them. They are Nature Boy and you are them. And they got you. That's what I see. That's what I see. That's what I see. To see Nature Boy go to jail and go to jail for the rest of his life. I ain't gonna lie, it's a part of me so bad that wish I could go and sign in on the visitor log just so I can laugh in his face and be like, you God now? I don't even know what I would say, but I'll be there to clown his ass. I don't have no problems with that. It's a wonderful thing. He reigned long enough. He did enough. But it kind of bothers me to see that his crew is not with him. And it bothers me even more to see how y'all just giving them nothing but air and opportunity along with promotion. It's like, what are we doing here? So all of this was really a joke to y'all. All of this was really a game to y'all. Like, y'all really playing. Y'all really playing. These people really went up to that courthouse and gave heartfelt speeches as if he was holding them hostage in a basement all this time. Like, what? Listen. If you were never born in a cult, then you cannot understand the difference in the outlook of someone who this is what you've known from birth, and you're shut off from the rest of the world, and this is your world. This is all you know. This is what you understand. It's not about it being right or wrong. It's about this is all you know. You don't know anything different until you get away, until you turn loose. There's a difference in something like that than being grown out here in society. And then you go and enter into a space to where you fully understand, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I consider right, and this is what I consider wrong. For all I've always known, if you choose to accept, if you choose to participate, that is you accepting to step into that role. Victim manipulation, I can't work with y'all on that. I can't work with y'all on that. It's only because you want it to be. It's only because you want it to be. In his comment section here, Look at this comment section. This is one person who went, but he was respectful and he was understanding, where he was coming from, so they had a little dialogue here. This person here is saying, a couple of people actually. Okay, so here's a comment. Your experience there will not be the same as everyone else's. He already said that in his video. I don't know if you were listening. He said when y'all left, it wasn't as bad as when he went to jail. He had gotten 10 times worse than when y'all were there. Your wife and child almost lost their lives under him. Okay, so he responded, okay, cool. So he says, the principles and perspectives that I share are universal. They don't just apply to my own experience. They can be applied to any. Thank you for sharing your perspective. And that's just what it was, your perspective. When people say it was worse after Quetzal and Grace, gosh, after they left, my response is not necessarily that it was or was not, but I find it hard to understand how someone can say that, but you're also saying your wife and your child almost lost their life while they were there. What's worse than that? Because this dude has always been who he is. What he ended up allowing the public to see did change over time. But the same person, and I'm trying to be respectful of how they identify with their experience, okay? But from my perspective, just as we saw Malia and the others be thinned out, the guys as well, everybody there, we saw, Brother Marquez talk about, when he went to actually see his daughter and the huge difference from even what he saw on camera versus what he actually saw and hugged in real life. And then when they were leaving and when he actually, went to hug Aya, I don't know how long y'all been watching, but it was worse than that with this woman and her newborn baby. When you hear Sheba talk about, how they barely had rations and they breastfeeding and things like that, it was the same while being pregnant. It was the same for Serenity and Zen. But her name is Grace now. Golly. And then to tell them they gotta go because he don't want them to perish there. Nature Boy had the same demons. He was the same demon probably his whole life, as he has always been. Okay? Same demon. He was tossing velvet around back then. He was doing the grimiest back then. Before he even got on this journey, he done some of the most despicable things, and I'm pretty sure it included lives being taken before he even became Nature Boy. This dude, during the time that they were there, was bragging, literally bragging on camera about how he was trying his best to take his son's mother's life. He didn't get worse over time. He just had more people who joined in. He had more people who joined in because while he was stomping on Malia's head, while he was whipping the mess out of her with a belt, while he was stomping on Sheba's head, while he was beating down Velvet time and time again, including when she was pregnant, how many men and how many women were there watching, helping her not one bit, standing in a circle around her so that the public would not see her being beaten naked in public by a whole dude. Somebody in this comment section even mentioned, Sheba said, or Tori said, she witnessed Nature Boy put Velvet's head into the toilet seat and it cracked the toilet seat. These are the things that all these people witnessed. And then they would turn around and beat on each other. The men would beat on their women. They would assault them in other ways, right? Same charge they got Nature Boy life. The women would beat each other, right? The dudes would beat each other. They jumped Loyal a couple of times and beat him down real bad. Jump Pice, beat him down. How many times did the women get jumped? And I don't doubt that some men didn't partake in that too. That time when Malia was cutting up outside and Nature Boy just was like, he just couldn't take it no more. He wanted somebody to go stop her. What did he do? Command y'all, go ahead, do y'all thing. And who was running out there with the women? Caliber. Y'all forget, we saw Troy snatch Tori up when she was trying to get away. He was the main dude. That was his job. Snatch the women out, hold them down when he was trying to get away. We saw all of them jump on each other when they try to get away. On camera. We saw y'all smacking each other on camera. You're telling your own stories now of how you were beating on each other. How you were beating each other down. But you're going to tell of the abuse that the remaining women went through. Things that they haven't told. Things that they won't admit to right now. Then you're going to tell of the times that you beat them down. The times that you help abuse them in other ways. And then you're going to turn around in the same breath and tell them, I love you. You deserve better than this. Please leave. Go home. You know, what? It doesn't even make any sense. If they even were listening to you, they're going to be mad because you're talking about all this stuff. While they over there trying to tell the world, Nature Boy is a good person. He cares about people and he loves people and These guys didn't even have a way to talk to their families, and he paid for their phone calls, and he's a very loving person. People always talk about the bad, but they never talk about the good. So you want to reveal their stuff when they ain't even got their turn at bat yet. We don't know if they ever will. And you're going to tell the stuff that if somebody was telling on you, you would be going in and you would be mad at that person. And we know firsthand, right? Because when anytime somebody say, we know he beating on y'all. We know he beating on y'all. We know he not letting y'all eat. We know he putting y'all in the closet. We know he punishing y'all. We know he abusing y'all. We know this. We know that. What would y'all do? How many times would Sheba go in front of the camera and berate the mess out of True? I have a video where she talks down on True so bad, while you can see they baby laying on the dirty carpet, and they was down in a dungeon somewhere, and she over there with Nature Boy, living the wives' lives, and gonna blame True because she don't get enough ration. So was Nature Boy the fault for that at that time? Was Nature Boy being the manipulator at that time? I don't know. But I saw Trey here. So this person didn't even know who Carbonation is. And the truth is, there are so many other cult situations, y'all. This is a drop in the bucket, to be honest with you. And these situations are going strong today. These other, a lot of them, they going strong today. And, it be a lot of drama either way it go, It's always drama when somebody gets away, somebody gets free, somebody gets to talking. So it's not really that much different. You have some people who it seems like they're going to be down for life. It's not really that much different. But it's some huge operations out here in almost every category. And most of them are, something spiritual or religious. I don't know. It makes you really think, because it's gotta be pretty easy when you're looking for something outside of the source. You're looking for it to come through some man or woman, because it's some yoga cult leaders, y'all. It's some yoga. It's not funny, but man. And one of them, she done passed away, but boy, did she leave some mess. She left some scarred people behind. Nature Boy is not the only demon. There's too many to count. And they done touched way more than Nature Boy. My thing is the lack of diversity I see in people who do. It's like Rambo said, you all about Nature Boy. I never been too keen on the T. She got her skills and all that, but I just always looked at it like this is just too much promotion. But now, I mean, what's the word now? Like what's the reason now? Homeboy is in prison. He ain't getting out. So why we doing all this? It's really weird. Everything you showing done already been showed. And I'm pretty sure a lot of it's been showed on her channel. If people want to do some digging, they can go back through the archives. I'm not understanding why the heavy rotation of videos is going on right now. I don't understand that, because it ain't for Aya, Malia, and Zoka and Eferu. They not ever gonna be faded by any of those videos if they watch them. done shaved their head. Zoka done got out of jail and went right back. They where they at. They where they at. And them doing anything different is on them. It'll never be because people didn't give up. Like, I just don't understand what y'all doing, man. I don't understand what y'all doing and pushing so hard like that. You know, it's just, to me, it's like y'all, you know, if I wasn't looking at y'all sideways before, I'm definitely looking at y'all sideways now. And that's why I feel like Rambo and Serenity's message is more powerful now than ever. And it needs to be heard over, you know, some of the other noises that we keep hearing. Because I could see the little follow-up after the conviction, you know, for maybe a week or two or so. But, like, we really, really going with this. I thought the whole point was to get that energy on up out of here. I'm not really understanding why do everybody keep recycling, you know, all that horror and negativity about this dude. I just don't get that. You know, I did a video and I talked about the music. I think it's on my, I think it's behind the wall, because I just want to just kind of pull him back from my channel. I got deals and stuff like that, and this has not ever been my main content, and I will always, you know, because this has been going on for years, I would always have to come down and back up and, you know, kind of clear my channel up from this mess. I just don't see how y'all do it. Like, you gotta be getting something from this that's deeper than I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I did this video and I was talking about their music, and I went through some of their songs, played a few of my favorite songs. They made some great music. And one of my top songs is the one, Holy Trinity. And it got Rambo, Natural. And I think it was Caliber or Musa. Or both of them. I don't know. But I know Rambo was on there. Mama D had a little part on there. But, I mean, they got music that I've been thumping throughout the years. Still do. It's on my workout list. I like MODs. What? Oh, man. I can't even remember the name, but it's like 4 that are really, I mean, they go hard, especially in the car. What? Oh, listen. Most people ain't even heard their songs. Most people don't even know about their music. Most people don't even know what the hell anybody's talking about when they say the knowledge. They don't even know. They don't even know. You go look at the channels they have where they have the music on there. They have like 2 channels, I believe. And they be having like 300 views, 25 likes. And all the other stuff took precedence over that. And yes, that's what he did. But being that I was there from, you know, the beginning stages, I can understand what Rambo is saying, because to him, the thing that it, you know, initially, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but my interpretation, that initially attracted him to follow along that journey was the quote unquote knowledge and the idea of, having a different type of lifestyle than what has been traditional over here. And that part never changed. That part never changed. And y'all can say what y'all want to say about these guys, but at the end of the day, when it got thick, when Quetzal was saying, see, I got your name right this time. When Quetzal was saying, hey man, we gonna lie too much. This ain't what we supposed to be doing. Plus, he can see things about Nature Boy that really shouldn't be put out there. And you don't go out to seek out, that type of lifestyle so you can become a star. Like, we going live too much. That's not good. We going live too much. And when he no longer wanted to listen, that Mama Dia, his son, his wife situation, were some of the main things. And I'm not just putting words in his mouth. I've listened over the years. Those are some of the things that made him decide that he had to take his exit. And when Grace knew she had to go and she didn't want to go, that was her family, who she known as her family for all those years. And when she was conflicted and wanted to go back, hey, at the end of the day, she stayed with her man and her son. So it wasn't like Hassan knocking on Bam door every day. Okay, did I do that? I didn't. That's what came to mind, though. I mean, Hassan kept going back. Anywho, if you don't know who I'm talking about, then disregard. Okay, if you caught it, you caught it. And you know it is. You know it's true. You know it's true. Alright? And they left. And honestly, they seniors in this. They've been out a long time. So they had a lot of time to go through all these processes and do all this decomposing and thinking. And to be honest with y'all, they was going live after they left here and there, because it was just so much drama and controversy, especially concerning them leaving. Nature Boy couldn't keep their name out of his mouth. He couldn't leave them alone. He really was trying to pull them back in and all that other kind of stuff. And they kind of wanted to start their own thing as well. But they weren't doing like what I see happening right now. One thing they never did was try to make themselves a victim. That's even one of the reasons why I say, from my perspective of what was going on with Grace and her child, because we know what we saw and what we witnessed, but you'll have to hear that from her own mouth, because the way that she puts it, I want to say, yeah, the way her and Rambo puts it, they don't word it the way I word it. They take all accountability for any and everything that became their situation, because everything you do leads you to what you go through, regardless of how you look at it. That's one hard lesson to learn in life, but that is a lesson that it's gonna ring true every time. Okay, I don't know what Terrence Howard is talking about. I'm not against what he's saying. I'm not sure, because me and Math don't get along, so he might be on to something. So you can battle about that. But this one right here, it's going to always ring true every single time. It don't matter what it look like. You are the reason for your circumstance, and you have to figure out why. And that's the work right there. That's the journey. That's the work. That's the word, because you can be like, what? How? And this and this and this and this. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's all on you. So if you want to say he did this, he did that, honestly, that's not what the heck I see. That's not what I saw at all. It's real weird to me to see so many people be like, they was victims, they was manipulated. I don't care. At 19, my youngest is 19. Okay. My other ones, they in their 30s. My youngest is 19. I can't look at him at 19 and be like, oh, you let that person manipulate you, you let them get you. No. And then I look at, you came from a family, you came from that. Okay, so you went to school, you was taught, you was told, you lived outside of this environment all this time. And when it's time for you to walk that road on your own and make your own decisions, you must know you're responsible for every situation. If it's not the right situation for you, then you must get out of it. Y'all stayed and you participated. You didn't just aid in a bed. You participated in the same actions as he did. Y'all sit up there and let Solar give you this BS story about his own child that was taken before she could even have a chance. And y'all turn around with him and blame Nature Boy. But the truth is, that was him and Zoka's baby. They had a responsibility to make sure that baby was okay and had life. They understood the type of life they were living. They understood what can and cannot harm a child on top of that. And they knew that baby was not getting no prenatal care. And they knew that it could be up in the air. That baby could have came out any kind of way. And they sat back month after month, day after day, and allowed all that to go on. All the stress, all the fighting, all the beating, all the substances, everything that went on, passing, going back and forth from this dude to that dude. Nature Boy and Solar was with her together at the same time. But you let this dude come over here and tell you he's responsible. He owes me a daughter. He is responsible for my child's life. How is that possible? Y'all supposed to be the spiritualists of the spiritual. You got Solar being promoted via a lot of y'all. He holding retreats and meet and greets and spiritual gateways and giving y'all readings, and so is Janae and all the other kind of stuff. And how he's spiritual, but he gonna sit up there and act like even so much as stress is not good for a baby, much less your girl going through all that she was going through, including you putting your hands on her in a violent way. And then he gonna sit in your face on top of that and lie to you and tell you, oh, we got all the checkups, we was going on all the doctor's appointments. And then he gave you this little Mary Pooh Pie story that they gonna stick to. That's a pattern with them, that when it come down to somebody losing their life and stuff like that, they gonna stay on that story. Whatever story they came to, that's what they gonna stick to. I can't fault them for that. That's what they choose. I mean, if they wanted to go to jail, they would have been right there with Nature Boy. That's my Master Chief. He go down, I go to, you handcuff me too. I did it too. Yep. Because this my God. If you going to take him to jail, you going to take me to jail. We are one. I love myself. I stand out. When nobody doing that, all of a sudden everybody was like, you're a horrible person, you're a monster. And the ones who wasn't doing it was up there. I'm like, they don't got no sense at all. I thought y'all was the elite. I thought y'all was collecting the elite and convicting the weak. How Solar all spiritual and he gonna sit up here and tell y'all lie after lie after lie after lie and say he was this, that, and the third when we know True was the general commander or something. He was Nature Boy right hand man. Now, as far as crimes, he sat there and testified in court one thing, and now he on here bragging to y'all about another thing, and y'all still all up in his nut and cracking it. Weird. Super weird. But I'm not gonna be doing no fancy editing or nothing like that. It's okay, this person say they should keep you blocked. No disrespect, but y'all have been gone way too long to still be so brainwashed. Okay, that's a perspective that she has, and that's cool, but they should keep him blocked. How? They was gone a long time ago. They ain't keep no ongoing relationship with Nature Boy up to present day. I mean, they did talk to him while he was in jail, but that's understandable. But they wasn't, I'll say I three, they weren't proclaiming his kingdom at all. Say they should keep them blocked. But that's weird though, because the same people that they struggle with, suffer with, saw getting abused severely every day and did nothing. They didn't even huddle up and be like, let's jump them, or hey, let's get up out of here. None of that. They was abusing each other. And they besties right now. They all in the same chat. They all got wrenches on each other's page. What you talking about? They should block Rambo and Willow for what? I'm sorry, y'all. Quetzal and Grace, man. Because they coming from a different perspective. They got that deep thinking going on over here, right? They sound too much like that might be right. It sound like accountability over here, don't it? Yeah. They won't look at them as no victims, huh? Listen. The main reason why I would never give Quetzal and Grace any grace all these years is because the state that she was in, not only during her pregnancy, the whole thing surrounding the birth, and the circumstances upon which they left. Some of the same stuff that's been going on throughout recent years with each one of them. Where's Velvet at? We know you why she ain't on camera. We know what you did. We know you beat her down. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we want to see her. We going to call this, call that. All that stuff. That's not new, y'all. That's been going on. Y'all keep saying he got worse. He's been the same demon. The same collection of demons. But all that was going on. And yeah, she left, they left. But it was her wanting to go back. That put fire and brimstone under me. Like, What, man? You know, and of course the mama did thing, but I'm going to let that rock because, you know, some things is just, you know, God going to take care of it the way he see fit. But just letting it get that bad, it could have went the other way. It could have went the other way, man. It could have went the other way. And then you got people on the other side that's going through this with y'all. You got people on the other side that's like stressing out and, you know, threatening this dude and calling here, doing this, finding out where you at. All this stuff, you know, everybody been doing to try to make sure you, where they at, we need to see them. We know they ain't doing good. We know you doing this. We know you doing that. We know they want to leave. Where they at? Let them go. All this. For people who were there. Then it was a duress, hostile situation at times, and especially when you want to leave, we saw all that for ourselves. But you know, these people still was making choices, because at the end of the day, if I want to leave, heads gonna have to roll if that's what we need to do. But I got to go. I got to go. The whole wanting to go back, and you know, but one thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. Listening to them now, which is something I refused to do for years, gives me insight into their perspective. And it's not about them still being down with Nature Boy himself or anything about him. It's about them taking accountability for the choices that they make in their own lives. And like I just said, no matter what anybody else was going through, no matter what anybody else, you know, was advocating for, seeing, you know, experiencing, concerned about, or none of that, they was making steady choices to endure that situation. And when they, you know, took Mama D or what, you know, whatever happened with that, and Rambo decided he, you know, went to Key and was like, "Hey man, I think I might, you know, need to leave." Then that's when he began to understand, I don't think this is where me and my family need to be. And they all got together and they left. And it was not an easy task, just like it hasn't been for most people. If anybody came and went so freely and easily, it was Janae. I'm not saying she breezed in and out every time, but it's real ironic how, you know, the very one who, you know, put the charges on him is the one that came and went. She came there way before Solar, and really nobody even knew it, and was with Nature Boy and left. Then came back after, you know, coat hopping, and then, you know, started to become a part of the circle, but still was allowed to come and go. And that wasn't the case with a lot of people. It wasn't the case with a lot of people. I want to see, I think Trey, his Trey. So this is interesting. Trey says, for my experience, I was young. I hadn't fully come into myself yet. Then I was played with while I was there. Of course, I didn't know at the time, because he's telling us he's doing this to test you. And so I didn't know what to think. It's not fair when you are young and you don't know and you just following your heart. Yes, the situation exposes ourselves to ourselves, but if we would have never went, then the parts of ourselves that needed to be exposed wouldn't be exposed. So I learned from my situation, specifically that I was young and that I was very trusting and wanted to show my commitment and follow my heart until I realized it wasn't for me anymore. Yes, we chose to be a part of something we thought was righteous, but because the leader wasn't so righteous, there were things happening that shouldn't have happened if he didn't allow it. I learned that just because someone is online that appears to be living what they teach, don't mean that they really are or that they have good intentions. I learned to not follow one man's whole mind, because that one mind, oneself, is not beneficial, because two heads are better than one. There, 3, 4, 5 heads are better than one. So yes, I learned things, but that don't mean I wasn't manipulated, child. I don't mean no disrespect, but I've watched her mama's video like 3 times. I mean, so if your own mama can call you out, then you know what I'm saying. This was see, when people suggest therapy to you guys, I understand why a lot of people, especially, with probably your mindsets, wouldn't go to therapy. I'm not saying y'all need to go to therapy, but something needs to happen. This whole thing right here, it's a crock of crap, honestly. And it's not nothing against you. I'm just saying, this whole mindset, everything you typed here, it's a cop out. It really is. When I first heard her story, okay, you was probably 19, around the same age as Eliana. Oh no, that's when y'all think y'all know everything, right? Way earlier than that, but you showed, according to the law, your ass is grown. So, but you lived a life outside of that environment until you got in that environment. It's like the mama saying, okay, so if Tommy jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off a bridge too? A lot of you guys are so lucky. You're lucky you're not deceased behind this. Even more scarred behind this. Y'all lucky. Hopefully you don't got nothing you can't get rid of behind this. Y'all lucky you ain't in prison behind this. You really, really, really lucky. Like, y'all really took y'all butts to somebody else's environment where they had full control over. And then you gonna type something like this in the chat, like you thought he was living a life that he was preaching, and that's not true. You wanted to think that. You allowed yourself to think that. One of the things that Nature Boy would tell y'all is, don't listen to the haters. Don't look at the haters, because they just hating. Don't look at the haters. Don't listen to the haters. They just hating. And you chose not to, but you said you said in another comment on here that you did your research on him. You didn't do your research on him, because if you did, you would have known he wasn't living the life that he said he was living. And it's not even that. You can see that without doing the research. That's why we was calling him out, because we saw he wasn't living that life. We saw they wasn't living that life. They had nothing but air and opportunity. They had money flowing like the river to build and settle. They had land upon land upon land offered to them. Oh boy, I can't remember his name. He had 93 acres. I know they said there was a lot of mosquitoes there, but y'all was the elite. You couldn't figure out how to work the land and deal with the mosquitoes. Not once. Not one garden. Not once. You saw the manipulation and the negativity going on, the gaslighting and the BSing and the ego, and he just screams. And I know everybody is not gonna be, able to, sense and to pick things from people off top as easily as some others. However, you could just, I mean, that dude screams evil. He screams, I'm a insecure pompous. He screams, I'm a liar. He screams, I ain't really about this life. I'm just working it because it's working. You chose to believe that stuff. There was nothing he was showing you that was really real. When you looked at him, you saw what you wanted to see. And then you hear her say, he said he don't like no masculine woman. But then he starts saying he, cool with the LGBT. So I'm thinking he gonna be cool with me and I'm gonna be like one of the dudes. That's what you chose to think. I don't know who in their right mind. I just gotta keep it real. I don't mean no harm, but I don't know who in their right mind would have thought that. And you supposed to have watched him more intently than I, because you the one who's interested in going there. So how can you interpret that on your own when I don't think anybody would have interpreted that from him? And you the one that's choosing to go there. You went there on a hope and a wish and a prayer for something you assumed. Like, what did you do? Watch 1-2 videos? Like, I'm not understanding how you thought. And I've heard, she told that story more than once. And I'm like, you gonna keep saying this? Girl, you getting older. Like, nobody ain't. That's what I'm saying. Y'all not seeing nobody. It's something gotta give. Because y'all gotta come about this. You got every excuse in the world as to why you put yourself in that situation. But you put yourself in that situation because you wanted to. Not because somebody manipulated you. Y'all saw the same crap anybody else saw who was watching him. You know how many people who initially saw him and was like, man, if this is the real deal, this would be nice. I really hope. But, we know how our people are. So, and if it's not them, it's going to be the system. Like, nah, not going to let you do that. So, a lot of us sat back and was like, let's see where this goes. Okay, didn't give one donation, didn't offer no land, didn't say you can come to my house, didn't proclaim nobody's kingdom. I mean, once they started going there, that's when you knew it was not. No. That was the part where you was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely a scam. Scam likely. It was scam likely before, but then when they started showing their cult tendencies, it's like, yep, scam, because you still moving around and causing chaos, and we ain't seeing nothing yet. Especially when after you see them on the bus, where he got Olmec eyes stomped out. He acted the same way on that bus that he acted before and during court. And that was in the beginning. When he sat up there in that van on the side of the road, bragging about how much money people gave him, and they sitting there out of gas. And y'all thought it made sense to go with him to some country? To follow him to other countries where he the boss? And it's just you and his people? And you saying you did research on him, and you thought that if you did research, you knew that he tags everything that come through there. Oh, but you did know that. You did know that. Because you said it yourself. When you got with Musa, you said you feel like your estimate from what you have seen is that you might have about 6 months before he gonna want to sleep with you. Which, if that's what it was at that time, girl, you was doing good. Or that's what you assumed. That's what he led you to believe. Because it's not really no such a thing. But he definitely has to have every woman that come through there. That's a fact. It's no, you thought you was going to be the only stud ever in Carbonation? Like, that's how you was going to make your mark on history? Because that wasn't going to happen. He is a deviant. There's not going to be any female there that he cannot ravage. Because that's his demon spirit. That's just who he is. Or at least throw you to the guys. To be like, yeah, don't say I ain't never did nothing for you. Which is what he did. But you still, you shouldn't have went, sis. That's just it. And you can't blame nobody on that. You can't blame manipulation on that. We gotta be wiser than that. We gotta be better than that. We gotta come up out of that. We can't sit up here and say nobody's a victim for going there. In the beginning, when they first formed, and nobody really knew who this dude was, and nobody, I mean, me myself, I went and joined with no dude I don't know, but that's what made them seem so bold. You know, they was taking a chance. He was really, to them, sounding like, I don't know, I could just see the shade in him though. You know, it's just too many occasions to where it should have been obvious to others, and especially, you know, after he talked about the situation with his son. I don't care how he was trying to spin it. No. You can't come back and then try to say I'm being in nature and I'm being natural after you do the movements and say he's breastfeeding him to his mama, you know. Nah, because you just took it there. That tells me everything about what you're really saying. And then what do we see later? He's doing that with Aya, who ain't even that child's mother. And then the mother comes in, and what? She's made to join. Well, she was told to join. But we also know that's why she was about to be out there with the baby in a sling and barefoot and running across the jungle with the passport in her hand too. Okay. But, she only get a piece of credit for that because she came back like 11 times after that. It wouldn't have been no coming back for me. But y'all heard him say that shit before you hooked up with him and got pregnant by him. So it's like, victim where? Victim where? You heard him say all that. Or did you? Because you did your research. You heard him say all that. You heard him say, I'm going to be naked as around your kids. I don't care how much natural in nature you want to be. You not going to be no grown dude walking around with no clothes on in front of nobody's child. Tarzan and Jane put some leaves on. Like, what are we talking about here? Y'all saw 1,000 Ways from Sunday that this was not a good situation, and you still took your butt over there because you wanted to get a piece in on action. You wanted to get a piece in on the action. And you really, for some reason, told yourself whatever you had to tell yourself to make it seem like it was okay. When, to be honest with you, like I said from the beginning, this dude was giving y'all clear signs that he's not somebody you need to be following. But when you saw Rambo, the very dude Quetzal in this video, when him and his wife and baby left, that should have been a deterrent for anybody right then and there. You saw how he played them when they was leaving. You saw the whole situation. You saw what state that woman and her baby was in. And he's standing there with the phone in their face. And he trying to make them say it ain't nothing he did and all this other kind of stuff. Make a big deal out of it. And then when they leave, he talking shit. He bothering them. He trolling them. Trying to, manipulate them into coming back. He tried to control Rambo. And he not even over there no more. He gonna call him up and try to chastise him or debate him about eating meat. Bro, he's not even with you no more. And you see this with other members, and it was being called out. So y'all knew he was the one in control. Y'all knew he was the one who was controlling, how well people get taken care of or not. Even after, Grace and her baby left. And he wasn't necessarily exposed to the extent that, he probably should have been exposed, but it was enough. We knew enough. We knew enough. Mama Dia's situation. Anybody who went after that, I can't look at you as no victim. There's no possible way after the way they did Mama Dia and her daughter. And I just have to pause after that because I'm really, all respect due. All respect due. All respect due. And at the end of the day, y'all, And I'm probably not the only one who says or think this. Baby Ellie could have probably had a lot more time with her grandfather if that situation didn't play out the way it did, or it didn't exist. And that is not something you can put on him. That's not something you can put on him. His own daughter put him through that. I couldn't even pretend to put myself in his situation. I couldn't. Not at all. Could not even pretend to put myself in his situation. And you got this dude coming here telling y'all, leave Zoka Daddy alone. Stop messaging him. I don't know what y'all was doing. Harassing him and all that kind of stuff. Which is weird because he know where his daughter's at. Like, ooh. Because he was sick. But he the one who got her daughter over there going through child. Oh Lord. And came and sat his butt down in Georgia. Listen, all I can say is God is good. God is good. God is good. God is good. God worked through Janae. God used that woman and he worked it. He said, it's time for me to sit you down. And he used Janae. Outside of anything else, it's not even about that. It's about her being an instrument. And the universe is so good that Nature Boy didn't get a hold to the wrong people's family. Especially when you cut them down very young. Like, say, Zoka's age. She was around the same age that Velvet was when she went there. And I don't know how many parents in existence that continuously thank God, that wasn't my child. That wasn't my child. Thank you, God, for not even putting me in that situation. As we sat back and watched what Brother Marquez went through publicly, and not just him, her mama too. They had to go up against their own daughter, bump Nature Boy. They had to go against their own daughter because she was going against them. And that girl is out of jail and back over there. And as a parent, what can you do? He's in jail. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Somebody's mama or daddy could have been on the run or in prison behind this dude. To be honest with you, he could have got. He could have got without even really. I mean, this dude, he belonged to God. God said, I got him. I'm going to take care of him. And he has affected a lot of people. Because I got to work on myself, man. Because I'm telling you, it's not a day that goes by that I'm just like, man, why can't we get a camera to follow him around now? Why can't we get a camera to follow him around now? Come on. Like, is that too much to ask? That's you. We shouldn't be praying for that, y'all. You need to cut it out. You need to cut it out. You're going to keep me in trouble. Like, for real, I swear. I swear. You know when you was little, that's y'all, because we didn't do the Santa. But you be like, man, I don't want no bicycle. You can get at the Tommy. I don't want nothing. I just want, I just want cameras in there with this dude. I want cameras in there with this dude. I ain't asking for much. Which actually, that is something that cannot be done. It's like we being robbed right now. We can only try to imagine what's going on in there. But you know what? To be honest with y'all, when I look back at it, I say, he did do us a solid. Because the way he was acting during the trial, that's a sneak peek into how he gonna be in jail. That's just a sneak peek. So we really, as creative as you want to be, just be as creative as you want to be. And you can imagine, I got a new scene and scenario for this dude every day. And it's gonna die down eventually. It's gonna die down eventually. But right now, I ain't gonna lie. Kind of salty. Because we don't get to see none of it. They got plenty of little shows out here. Where they be filming people in prison. And I'm just like, are you serious? When she said you couldn't profit off of none of this, man, it should have been a stipulation that he owe us tax, man, to where we get the first 30 days or something. But see, Georgia jails, they can't allow no cameras up in there. They can't. But listen, let me tell you something. Just the same way Janae was a tool, so was Nature Boy. Y'all can blame Nature Boy. Y'all can say he manipulated you. Y'all can say he was a master manipulator. Even the judge said he was, and all this other kind of stuff. Who did he manipulate in the courtroom? I mean, that was just a little script she ran. Honestly, that woman is of high intelligence. I'm sure she's a judge. That woman don't think he no master manipulator. That woman thinks y'all wanted to be manipulated, and there you go. And y'all had a good time doing whatever the heck y'all was doing over there. I mean, to his soul I tell it. To his soul I tell it. To his soul I tell it. Solar say, man, I had all the money, I be working these deals and booking all these vacations and everything, and I go fly over here and sit up there and smoke like a whole ounce, and then, come back and be like, nah, it wasn't no good, and don't have nothing. He telling stories like this. He glamorizing while perpetrating a fraud. concerning his role, but he's also taking accountability for a lot of stuff that supposedly your boy is behind bars for, and then still go in his sentences with, he took my daughter's life. No, son, you took your daughter's life. You didn't take care of your child. You didn't protect that woman with your child in hand. You helped him lure in and manipulate women's, right? And she probably was one of them. I know the T put out a For My Man, I think, about Zoka. I think I'm gonna watch it because I wasn't I don't know about who she supposed to have come there for, because everybody got to come there for a dude. We know that, but you really coming there for Nature Boy. And this is not even a new script. It's the same script it's been. Any woman come there thinking they not gonna have to sleep with Nature Boy is insane. So you had to have, yeah, he had to have pull her in, because I know at no 19 years old, that girl was not trying to be with no Nature Boy. I'm gonna have to go watch that and see who she was supposed to be with. And it had to be Solar. And Nature Boy will let him get a little dip after he have her first. Just like he had Velvet first and passed her to Omek. He does them all. Pokemon does them all. But you know, everybody in existence has to pay for what they do. Everybody has to pay for what they have done. I am no exception. Nobody's an exception. Regardless of what it is for you today, tomorrow, you think you living sweet, you're coming across some obstacles, what have you, you will have to be accountable for your whatever you sow. There is no escaping that. There is no escaping that. So if you knowingly, condone and abet evil, right? When you can see it in front of your face and you know it is, you will have to pay for that too. And part of what comes from that is going to be on your hands. All the next Zokas and Janaes and whomever else. It's going to be on y'all's hands. Because when he sat pretty on your platform getting promoted, you, as someone that they go to and trust, had so many people thinking, oh, I shouldn't come down on him. I should give him a try. And I should believe that he is really trying to do some good. How is somebody who was doing all these evil deeds for all these years and was hollering left and right for the man who got convicted, saying that your baby mama was lying about her charge, gonna turn around just a year later and be like, oh, I'm gonna testify in court and I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna start providing services, whatever the heck he's supposed to be doing? How's you spiritual? when you was letting somebody do you any kind of way, do your woman any kind of way, and do your baby any kind of way, including all the way to demise. And then you gonna brag about the dirt you did do, and then conveniently leave out some, as if y'all wasn't on camera. Okay. But take credit for some more stuff. After you done sat your behind in court singing a different tune. So the girls lied in court for Nature Boy, and the other ones lied in court for themselves. That's about right. That's about right. Just like Fufu sat there and told y'all Zuko was out of jail and right there with them, and she didn't miss a beat. Like, none of y'all, nobody couldn't look it up, call there, go online, none of that, and find out. As soon as she said that, I went straight to the website, got the information, bop, 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 bop. No, she was not released. Yet people say they do research. What do you call research? What is that? What does that look like to you? I don't know. But listen, it's my perspective. You're not a victim. You're not a victim when you choose. You're not a victim when you choose. It doesn't mean that a person is not wrong if they're doing wrong, but it doesn't make you a victim. I don't hear no accountability. All I hear is he's a bad guy. When the truth is, Georgia, they chose what they chose. That's just all I can say about that. Georgia chose what they chose. And I'm pretty sure they figured they'd be scooping some, if not all of y'all up later. I know they probably think they gonna get Solar. And if you think they ain't, okay. You know what? Peace.